Welcome back to part 10 of XWO Gaming's Guide to Dark Souls Level 1 Edition. In this episode, we're going to be taking on the boss that many level 100 players still can't defeat. How are we going to defeat this at level 1, I hear you ask? Watch and learn. This is the equipment we're using. So, let's make our way to ORNSTEIN and SMOUGH. First, deal with this Silver Knight. You don't have to, you can just run up the stairs and jump over the barrier to skip him. But take him down, because sometimes he'll follow you up the stairs. So, do the banners to skip, and head on up the stairway. Once here, head down this stairway and lure the knight over to that side so that you can run past him. Run up the stairs and go through the fog gate and enjoy the cutscene. Oh boy, this is going to be tough. So straight away I got stabbed in the back by the knight that was outside of the arena. This boss is an absolute gank squad, even though there's only 2 of them. So before I explain any kind of strategy, I die on this attempt, but I want you to see just how ridiculous this boss can be. When you're focusing on one, the other one will attack you from out of nowhere, and it's really cheap. Both of these guys hit like a truck. And no matter how much distance you gain from them, they always seem to catch up extremely quickly. What's more, when you defeat one of them, the battle stops to trigger a cutscene, and the one that you didn't defeat gets even stronger, and you have to defeat him all over again. So as you can see, in this first attempt, they've drained nearly all of my Estus, and I've barely got Ornstein's health down at all. To prepare for this fight, I highly recommend defeating Ornstein first. That's the skinny one. If you defeat SMOUGH first, the powered up Ornstein is much harder to defeat at level 1. And we don't want this ridiculous fight to be any more difficult than it already is. So I'm just trying to survive this encounter. I know I'm not going to beat them here. This battle is just for educational purposes. So there you are, I got wrecked. Then they wrecked me again. And then I came back after a few minutes rest, with a clear head, ready to take them on. Now if you don't think 10 Estus is enough, don't forget you can hotkey your humanities if you've been farming them, because they also restore your health. I'm not off to a particularly great start here. However, if you can hit Ornstein twice, it will stagger him for a moment. More often than not, SMOUGH will have caught up and you won't be able to get a third hit in anyway. So keep running backwards and try and get Ornstein to charge towards you, creating space between him and Smaug. Whatever you do, do not get greedy. This boss is a battle of patience as well as a test of skill. And you might be wondering, I'm down to 5 Estus already with no damage done to these bosses. The key to this fight is just defeating Ornstein. Once he goes down, it gets significantly easier. I was extremely lucky there. But now I'm getting greedy. Don't be like me, just play this a lot safer. Because now I'm going to go into the second phase of the fight with no Estus at all and just a slither of health. So with Ornstein down, we now have to fight Super Smaug. I'll point out that if you die at this phase of the battle, when you return to the boss arena, you have to do phase 1 again, and whichever one you've defeated will have somehow revived. So you have to run the gauntlet here, it's all or nothing. So I nearly blow it immediately by getting myself backed into a corner. You still want to create some space between you and Smaug. The idea is to get him stuck behind a pillar. Always keep a pillar between you and him. As you can see, I'm trying to use my fireballs, but they're of no use. And they do very little damage. I narrowly escaped death there. But the idea is to keep a pillar in between you and him at all times and bait out some of his longer attacks, giving you enough time to run in and hit him once. Especially in this situation, greed is no longer an option. You want to bait out an attack like that. And then when you get your window of opportunity, run in and hit him once. So I sped the battle up here a little bit because this took me about 12 minutes to finish off. Because I had such little health, I did not want to take any risks. And you can even see here, we fast forwarded it and I still haven't taken any health away from him yet. By all means, if you have any Estus flasks or you've got your humanity hotkeyed, feel free not to take a risk, but feel free to mix it up a little bit and get in there and hurt him a bit. I have to do it the hard way and I end up backing away from him and using humanity from the menu, which is a huge risk to take. Luckily, it paid off for me. And we keep him stuck behind the pillar. And we keep chipping away. As long as you don't get greedy and keep the pillar in between you and him, it will be okay. Just be patient and take him down. Don't rush in just because the fight's taking too long. This fight will take a little while to get used to. So I used the humanity there and rushed in a little bit because I was getting a bit impatient. But if you only want to do this fight once, do not take stupid risks like I've been doing. It's all good showing you my successes, but you also need to see my failures. And you guys need to know that I didn't just do it all on my first attempt. This is the Everyman's guide. If you want a super skilled guide, this is not the one for you. This is a guide that can allow anyone to complete the game at level 1. So after that ridiculous struggle, we just need to run to the back of the arena and wait for this spiral elevator to come back down. From here, ride the elevator up and we'll reach a much needed bonfire. At the bonfire, do the usual routine. And once kindled, run up the stairs. Just repair your equipment if you need to. Run up the stairs and open the doorway to the chamber of the princess. Head on in and speak to her and listen to what she has to say. Kneel down before her. And you will obtain the Lord Vessel. By the power of the Lord Vessel, you may now walk between bonfires. So at last we've unlocked our fast travel mechanics. And the videos will hopefully get a little bit shorter as I won't need to run everywhere anymore. After you've finished speaking to Guinevere, head back to the bonfire and warp to Firelink Shrine. Once at Firelink, a new character will have spawned in now that we have the Lord Vessel, and this is King Seeker Frampt. Speak to him, and when he asks you to warp, say yes.
You have done it. You have retrieved the Lord Vessel after 1,000
Christ, he's ugly.
It is you. It is really you. Forgive me.
So he'll go on about some stuff,
Now, let us take that vessel on a
and he wants you to take the Lord Vessel on some sort of journey.
now. Be still.
So he decides to eat you and take you somewhere else. It's an interesting way to travel, but he drops us off at Firelink Altar. Kingseeker Frampt will then explain what you have to do for the second part of the game. So place the Lord Vessel down on the altar and watch the cutscene. And with the Lord Vessel in place, several new areas now become available to us. You may have seen some of these gold force fields around on your travels. Now we can go past them and explore further. Next, rest at the Lord Vessel, do the usual bonfire routine, and then have Frampt take you back to Firelink Shrine. You can also warp from the Lord Vessel, but let's have Frampt take us back.
The Lord's successor in your next task. To achieve your fate, fill the vessel with powerful souls, commensurate to the great soul of Gwyn. Scarce few possess such brilliant souls. Brave Lord Nito, the Witch of Isolin, the four
Frampt tells us the next bosses we have to defeat and what we have to do.
of Gwyn's soul, and Lord Gwyn's former confidant, Seath the Scaleless. All of their souls are required to satiate the Lord Vessel.
Which is why I got you to speak to him instead of warping from the Lord Vessel.
Stay still for a moment.
So we travel via his mouth back up to Firelink Shrine. And once we're back at Firelink, we're going to rest at the bonfire and bring the episode to a close. In the next episode, we will be beginning the next act of this game, where things get a little bit more tricky, but still doable. As always, I hope you've been enjoying this series. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content, or even leave a dislike if you don't. This has been the XWO Gaming Guide to Dark Souls Level 1 Edition, and we'll see you next time for episode 11.